This is your Bible Geeks Daily Download, Teacher Trickers. Have you ever seen an anglerfish? This deep-sea predator uses a tactic called aggressive mimicry to capture its prey using a kind of glowing fishing rod on its head. While an unsuspecting fish is mesmerized by this harmless glowing light, it never sees the giant jaws of the hunter coming to eat them. It's the same tactic that the religious leaders used to try and trap Jesus in his words. In Luke chapter 20, verse 20, we read, "So they watched him and sent spies who pretended to be sincere, that they might catch him in something he said, so as to deliver him up to the authority and jurisdiction of the governor."
They had malicious motivation. In Luke 20, verse 19, we read, "The scribes and the chief priests sought to lay hands on him at that very hour, for they perceived that he had told this parable against them, but they feared the people." The religious leaders were offended and wanted to kill him. When someone hurts us, it's easy to let our anger take control. We stop listening, stop reasoning, and become laser-focused on getting even. If we're not careful, we'll lash out, or maybe we'll just stew on it, thinking about how to retaliate. If you've ever felt this way, remember that man's anger never produces God's righteousness. James 1, verse 20.
And they brought him insincere inquiries. In verses 21 and 22, we read, "So they asked him, 'Teacher, we know that you speak and teach rightly, and show no partiality, but truly teach the way of God. Is it lawful for us to give tribute to Caesar or not?'" Doesn't their question seem sincere? There's nothing wrong with asking questions about the Bible, but what are we trying to accomplish? If we're sincerely seeking to know God's will for our lives, then we're on the right path. But if we're aiming to undermine the credibility of the Bible, twisting the scriptures, we're headed down a destructive path. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 16.
But they were caught in their craftiness. Luke 20, verses 23 to 26 says, "But he perceived their craftiness and said to them, 'Show me a denarius. Whose likeness and inscription does it have?' They said, 'Caesar's.' He said to them, 'Then render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's.' And they were not able in the presence of the people to catch him in what he said, but marveling at his answer, they became silent." Jesus saw beyond the facade and silenced them with his response. Unlike Jesus, sometimes it's hard to know when people are trying to trap us today. So let's be on guard and test every spirit. 1 John 4, verse 1. Ready to answer like Jesus did, with gentleness and respect.
So may God give us a heart of sincerity in seeking him, and may our words and conduct silence our critics, just like Jesus did. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Lord bless you and keep you today.
Shalom.